Hello, everyone. I'm here to bring you the alternate intelligence. In other words, a mode of thought or pattern of thinking that will be able to help you ascend to a higher point of consciousness. Um, it starts with a little bit of understanding of yourself and the world and everything that surrounds it. Um, I want to be able to tell you a story actually, and this story correlates pretty well with the story of Abe from Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, and we're going to watch a little bit of his story right now.
This is Rupture Farms. They say it's the biggest meat processing plant on Oddworld. I used to work here. Well, I was really a slave, like all the others. That's me. My name is Abe. I was Employee of the Year. Now I'm dead meat. I crossed the meanest boss in the world, Mullock the Gluckin. My whole life changed in just one day. I was working late one night at Rupture Farms. We used to make meat munchies. Until the meaches were through. We still made pearmite pies. And we made some good scrap cakes too. I thought I had a good job, but that was before I knew. How we'd make new and tasty, I was still to find. The truth, it turned out. Now that would blow my mind. The Gluckins were scared, 'cause profits were grim. Hermites and scrabs had been turning up thin.
Things are going down. What? Oh, God, what are you doing, huh? What?
But Mullock was cool.
Hey, bud.
He had a plan. This new kind of meat. It was us! I just had to escape. I just had to be free. And I didn't even know I had a destiny. So, get me out of here!
Hello, everyone. That was was the story about Abe from Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. The reason why it relates so well to what I'm about to talk about is I think it is a great metaphor, the way that Abe is deep in this factory, full of distraction, full of ruling, full of authoritative efforts that go against him and all of his friends. He actually finds out that they plan to turn them all into meals and sell them off. So what he does is he runs through the factory and he goes as far as he can to find everyone that he can, all 300, and he starts opening up bird portals, which then allow them to run and escape the factory and go to a better place. In a way, I'm trying to accomplish this in my life. I'm trying to help as many people as I can to bring their minds out of the deep factory setting, out of the mass distraction and disinformation and misnavigation that's happening internally and externally. And the first thing that I'm trying to talk about today, opening up a bird portal for those that want to hop through and find a new way of living that can bring brighter days. Here it is. And it all starts with the soul. So this is what I like to think of as the star tetrahedron soul vehicle, Merkaba, mind, body, and spirit. What you can do with this vehicle is basically travel within yourself, within your emotions, within your thoughts, within your memories, and go wherever it is that you set your goal to go to. It's much like navigating on the open road or on the ocean or in space. You have to have units of measurement. You have to be accurate. You have to have confidence that you're going to be able to travel safely. And the way that we're able to measure this traveling is by thinking of a 4-quadrant grid. And what this grid does is represents the intertwining webs of our subconscious thought. So if we think about this soul vehicle, this star tetrahedron, if we place this at the center of this grid, right at the center, and we think about how in each direction we can imagine this star tetrahedron floating around, what this does is prime our mental imaging aspect of our minds. And the more that we flex that muscle, the more that we work on imagining these mechanisms, the more connections that are made between neurons that are within our brain. And we can start to build that grid further and further until we finally get to this point, which is taking it a step further. It's a 3D hollowed yet measurable area, a grid within grids. And this is the ultimate point of where we can start with our soul vehicle within ourselves and start to travel further out within ourselves as well as outside of ourselves, because what happens inward reflects what happens outward. So in the mental imaging realm of your thoughts, if you can start to work on imagining the star tetrahedron slowly floating through this measurable space from the center point, you're actually flexing a muscle within your brain, the pineal gland. And what the pineal gland does is creates these dreamlike imagings, and it creates chemicals within the center of your mind in this gland that looks a lot like an inward eyeball, if you would, if you were looking at the actual part of it. And these chemicals allow us to connect in spiritual ways. to the creation around us and what's within us. So, over the next few weeks, I would suggest just practicing this first episode of imagining this grid within your mind, imagining the hollow spaces, imagining the subconscious thought being conveyed as this grid, and then also imagining the soul vehicle as the star tetrahedron, which is the key, because it points in every cardinal direction, much like a compass. So with that, you can take your thought in whatever direction you want to take it. And that's all that I have for you guys today.